Today I'm going to be showing you some books I picked up from my local library's book sale. The first book I got is Going Down Jericho Road, The Memphis Strike, Martin Luther King's Last Campaign by Michael K. Honey. I will read to you the back of the book to give you an idea about what the book is about. Memphis in 1968 was ruled by a paternalistic plantation mentality embodied in its good old boy mayor, Henry Loeb. Wretched conditions, abusive white supervisors, poor education, and low wages locked most black workers into poverty. Then two sanitation workers seeking shelter from the rain were chewed up like refuge in the back of a faulty truck, igniting a months-long public employee strike that would shake the nation. The next book I purchased is Marple by Agatha Christie. Sadly, this one didn't have a cover, but it was only $1. All the hardcover books I paid $1 for, and all the soft paperback books were only 50 cents. Also, something I noticed is all these pages are uneven. I'm not really sure why, but it's very easy to get paper cuts on this book. This is going to be the first book I ever read written by Agatha Christie, so I'm pretty excited to see if this is going to be something I enjoy and get more of, or if it's just not for me. It's about an elderly spinster that lives in the village St. Mary Mead that helps friends and relatives solve mysterious murders. The next book is The Crucible by Arthur Miller. It's a dramatized and partially fictionalized story of the Salem witch trials that took place in the Massachusetts Bay Colony during 1692 through 1693. Not only is it just The Crucible, there also is related readings, such as Conversations with an American Writer, Guilt, How to Spot a Witch, Young Goodman Brown, The Great Fear, Justice Denied in Massachusetts, The Very Proper Gander, and A Piece of String. The next book is Juvenile Law, Cases and Comments. It goes over many juvenile law cases and explains in great detail the juvenile court jurisdiction, police processing of the juvenile offender, early court processing, transfer of juvenile jurisdiction to the criminal court, the adjudicatory process, the disposition of the juvenile offender, and the post-dispositional processing. This book does have some big portions of just highlighting, but most of it is in pretty good condition. The next book I got is The Chinese in America, a narrative story by Iris Chang. I was actually just about to buy this book on Amazon. It was waiting in my cart, but I so happened to find it at my local library's book sale for only $1. If I was to buy the book brand new on Amazon, it would have cost me about $20 for a paperback. Now I'll read to you the sleeve of the book to give you an idea about what it's about. In this course of her narrative, Chang chronicles the many accomplishments in America of Chinese immigrants and their descendants, building the Transcontinental Railroad, working on southern plantations after the Civil War, fighting racist and exclusionary laws, walking the racial tightrope between black and white, contributing to major scientific and technological advances, expanding the literary canon, and influencing the way we think about racial and ethnic groups. The next book we have is The First Conspiracy, The Secret Plot to Kill George Washington. This book also only cost me $1. I'll now read to you a portion of the sleeve of the book to give you an idea about the story. In 1776, an elite group of soldiers were handpicked to serve as George Washington's bodyguards. Washington trusted and relied on them, but unbeknownst to him, some of the guards were part of a treasonous plan. The next book we have is a very popular book. It's called The 48 Laws of Power. I always see this book in Barnes & Noble, but just kind of passed by it. But since I saw it today and it was only $1, I decided to pick it up. I will now read to you a portion of the inside sleeve. In a bold and elegant text, laid out in black and red, and replete with fables and unique word sculptures, the laws are illustrated through the tactics, triumphs, and failures of such figures as the shrewd Queen Elizabeth I, the statesman Henry Kissinger, the showman P.T. Barnum, and many others who have wielded or been victimized by power. I noticed this book also had the same thing with the uneven paper as the Agatha Christie book, so maybe it's just a trend, but I still don't like it because the rough, uneven paper really makes it easy to get paper cuts. The next book I actually picked up at the last book sale, but I still wanted to show it. It's The Eternal Forbidden City. I'm not quite sure how much I paid for this, but it's anywhere from 50 cents to $2, but still, again, very reasonable pricing considering. And it shows the Palace City, the Outer Court, the Inner Court, the Imperial Gardens, and the places of worship. The next and final book is very similar to the previous one I just showed you. It is the Qin Dynasty Terracotta Army of Dreams. And I just now learned that the Terracotta Army was originally painted with vibrant colors. This particular book that I so happened to pick up is actually a signed copy. This book shows the Emperor Qin's Terracotta Museum, the biggest on-site museum in China. It also shows the discovery and excavation of Qin's Terracotta Army, and much more. Thank you for watching. More videos coming soon.